Hello everyone, welcome to episode 1 of Jenna Knits. I am Jenna and I like knitting. This channel has been a long time coming. I'm really excited to get it going finally. Today is going to be mostly showing you what I've knit this summer and some of the whips that I have going on. I have a lot going on. I'm not gonna lie, I've got quite a bit of incomplete projects sitting in front of me. And I'm excited to share them with you because they've been really fun to knit up and even more fun to get some completed. But I also do have a timeline. So grab your tea, your coffee, whatever liquid your heart desires, and let's talk knitting. So, a little background. I don't want to share too much, too many things. Of course, okay, let me just excuse this real quick. It might be a little bit odd to start your first episode when you are so unbelievably ill, but I had the time today, so it just made sense to kick it off and start going. Back to school just happened for those that are parents. For those that aren't parents, now you know. And I have a 2-year-old. And, pre-K is just a petri dish. And it brought home all kinds of goodness last week. And it has just decided not to leave my home. I am also 9 months pregnant. I'm due in 3 weeks. And so that has just shot my immune system completely as well. So I apologize for the nasaliness of my nose and the occasional sniffle that you may hear. But I'm going to power through and we're going to get this going. Some of the projects I've been working on have been baby knits. Some of them have been knits for my son, knit for myself, and knit for my husband. And I went ahead, I was dreaming about the anchor sweater from Petite Knit. And I followed Petite Knit for a while, and I think that she does absolutely stunning work, but I've never actually knit anything of hers. And I was just dreaming of this sweater over and over and over again. And I was like, I just need to go ahead and buy it. And so I bought the pattern. And then I was like, well, why don't I just buy the pattern in every single size that she has? So she's got it from like newborn, toddler, child, teenager, an adult woman, and adult male. Like she's got every size you could ever possibly need. And so I bought all of them. And therefore, my whole family will be wearing these this fall. And I wanted to get them started and finished before the baby got here because I'm also knitting one for the baby. I live in South Carolina where it does not get very cold. So the choice of yarn was really important. But in that same breath, I don't think I made a choice to where I would be able to wear it for a long period of time. I don't know. I'm hoping that we're able to get at least a couple wears this winter season, but I don't hold my breath on that too much. So I will show you the most recent whip. Most of them are going to be using Rowan tweed. I love the felted tweed from Rowan. I love Rowan yarn, period. I have used their felted tweed, obviously. I have used their alpaca, their yak DK, and it is just good quality in each variety that they offer. I've had a lot of fun knitting up. I've done from socks to baby knits to adult knits, now to male knits. And it's just been so fun to work it up. And like the alpaca socks are like they're like a dream. They're so beautiful. But I'm not going to show you all my previous work today. I'm just going to show you all what I've knit up this summer, what I have on the needles right now, and tell you all a little bit about my knitting history. I have been knitting for almost 4 years. No, almost 3 years. I started knitting when I was pregnant with my son, and it was more so just a way to kind of cope with anxiety. There was a lot going on in that pregnancy. That was a really hard pregnancy, and it was a way for me to kind of focus in my mind on something. And of course, a lot of times when you start knitting, you start with super chunky, chunky knit blankets and stuff, which I still make. I make them for my girlfriends when they're about to have babies. They get a chunky knit baby blanket that they can lay their little one on, and I love making those. Those are so fun. I actually need to make 2 of them right now. But they're fun. They're quick. You learn a skill, and then you pick up the needles and you're like, whoa, this is different. I do not know how to crochet. I think crochet is witchcraft. I cannot for the life of me figure it out and figure out how these people make these absolutely stunning garments with a hook. My brain just cannot wrap any sort of sense around it. But knitting needles, I clicked to really quickly. I showed a lot of interest in it as soon as I started watching things on YouTube, you know, different vloggers and what they're doing. And I was like, wow, I really want to do that. And my husband, Cameron, set me up with a local knit shop when we lived in a different town. And I got a lesson. And from there, it was like, whoa, everything just made sense. And so I've been knitting for about 3 years now. And it's been a really big help in this pregnancy too. So it's kind of nice seeing how that meditation kind of kicked back in. And that's what I did before. I was a yoga instructor, and my pregnancy was a little, like I said, it was kind of rough. So I wasn't able to practice as much, and my mind was so busy that meditating didn't work. I needed to be busy and thoughtless at the same time, if that makes sense. And knitting just, it worked. So I'm going to take a sip of my scalding hot tea and see if that helps my situation. Oh, it's so hot. I overboiled my water. That's like hot. Okay. Let's get into our knits. I'll talk about the Rowan knits first, just because I have them right in front of me. So this is the anchor sweater in my size. I love the way the yoke looks. I'm obsessed with it. Obsessed. And wow, and in this lighting, it actually looks really nice. This is in the felted tweed carbon. And guys, when I tell you that it's a miracle that both of the sleeves are the same size, I'm not joking. The amount of times I've made socks where it's the exact amount of rows and everything, and one is like an inch shorter. It's a miracle that this came out. I did slip a stitch somewhere right here, so I do need to fix that. But this is going to be so nice this season. I love where I've got like 1,000 birds in the backyard. But I love how far down this goes. I think it just looks so, it's just so sleek. And a lot of the petite knit patterns are very like just polished and tasteful. And this was super easy to knit up, like really fun to put together because it's just 1x1 rib. And I believe for the women's one, you do 10 rows of 1x1, and then you do knits and yarn overs. And then the next row is knits and knit through the back loop. So you're just doing that in sections and then section off for the arms. And it's just stocking it the whole way down till you get to the bottom. I did shorten it a little bit. Not by much. I think I did, I don't know, maybe by like an inch and a half shorter than what she said to do, mainly because I wear a lot of high-waisted jeans and I didn't want a sweater that was going to be like too long after blocking it. This is not blocked yet, obviously. I hope that you know that this is not blocked yet. That's why it's all like scraggly, and I haven't done the ends yet either, but this turned out beautiful. It's super squishy and I'm very proud of it. This is actually, so I was doing a lot of panel knitting just due to intimidation reasons, and panel knitting just like makes you want to rip your eyelashes out, right? Like the constant back and forth, and it was just like, I feel like I'm getting nowhere when I panel knit because I'm like, oh, I finished one. Now I need to make an entire other one. It's just panel knitting is just not for me. But I was so intimidating to do a top-down sweater because I had never done one before. So this is actually the first top-down sweater that I've done. which is pretty exciting, and it actually turned out really beautiful. The next one I started 2 days ago is for my husband. And again, it's the same pattern, but I'm almost 2 out of 5 rows into his yoke. And this is with the, there we go, the felted tweed rowan in pine. And this green is just so vibrant and beautiful. It's gonna look so handsome on him. Like, he looks so good in these really rich greens. I made, and I owe him a green sweater because I made a huge mistake. I was wearing one of his sweaters, one of his knits, and Jack, my son, was sick. Of course, he got boogers and everything all over the sweater. Not even thinking about it, I threw it in scalding sanitized water and then threw it in the dryer, and now it's my sweater. I shrunk it so bad, like hilariously shrunk it. So luckily I have the green yarn. He can get his green sweater back, and this one has a little bit more meaning behind it than, like, you know, a polo sweater. But this one's turning out really, really nice. I'm excited to get it really going. Yeah, I love it because in this tweed, it's got, let's see if I can get it to focus a little bit. It's got like flecks of white and flecks of brown and little flecks of blue. And I just think I think it's so charming. There's another one that I didn't bring the yarn down either, but I think the color, I believe the color is tawny. I didn't bring it down, but it's like this magenta, fuchsia-y, pinky plummy color. Very purpley, pinky richness. And I'm going to be knitting that one up as well for baby. Jack got one that is not rowan yarn, but I am madly in love with. And it is from Fiber Co., which I've never used Fiber Co. before. Let me see if this is still going to burn my face off. Okay. I ran out of yarn for Jack's, and I'm super bummed about it because I only have one arm left. This turned out absolutely stunning. So to just look at it, you're like, yeah, okay, it's a brown sweater. No. This yarn is, I'm not even kidding, it's probably one of the most beautiful yarns I've ever seen. Like, ooh, what is that? Did I slip a stitch there? No. This is not blocked either. I just finished this over the weekend, but and obviously it's missing an arm. But this yarn is absolutely stunning. Just to look at it, you wouldn't think anything. And so I have a local knit store, and I'm talking to the owner, and I'm like, I need something for my son. My son has these stunning blue eyes, and he's got the exact same hair as me. And so I was like, I need something that's going to make it pop, but make him look like a handsome little fisherman, you know? Like, who doesn't love a little boy in a fisherman sweater? So she was like, you need this yarn. And I was like, this yarn is kind of ugly. She's like, I promise it's not ugly, and I will prove it to you. Everybody keeps telling me this yarn is ugly. So she knit up a little kid's knit sweater with it to prove that it's actually a beautiful yarn. It's got blues and greens and pinks and grays and every kind of color you could ever wish for. And it is just absolutely beautiful. And he is going to look so freaking handsome. But it's like rainbow yarn, and you would never know. And I love the way that the raglan stitches really pop on it too. On mine, you don't really see it as much because I knit mine in a size small. And so I think there's only like 3 raglan stitches and before you got into the body. But this one, there was like 7, I think, because I did a 3T, 4T for him so that he could really get some use out of it. And I'm in love with it. I can't wait to see him in it. I can't wait to get school pictures in this. I'm excited about it. And I wanted it. He's always worn like smaller sizes. He's nowhere close to a 3T yet, and he turns 3 pretty soon. But I wanted him to get 2 years out of it if I could. And I think I might actually be able to, because this is going to be long on him and baggy, and I'm excited about that. So this is how his is going. I need to get some more yarn this week to finish this arm up, but it is Fiberco Amble Wandering Souls. I kept the doodah. Now this yarn, if it'll focus. This yarn is on the expensive side, so I'm kind of bummed that I need an additional skein for one arm because I'm gonna have so much left over and it's not gonna be enough to knit anything with it. So I'm gonna have to buy another one, but this, I spent $23.50 on this skein. The Rowan tweeds are about $15.50 a skein. So it's also pretty pricey, but this one I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Hopefully I just need one. No, I'm gonna need two, which means I'm probably gonna need four because I'm gonna need to knit something for myself as well. But I love this. It is super cozy. It's way more breathable than the tweed is. The tweed's pretty, I mean, it's tweed, it's thicker. This one's wool and alpaca, I believe. And this one is wool, alpaca, and nylon. So it's a little bit more kid-proof too, which is nice. But it still has that softness and that sturdiness of a wool sweater. So this one is Jack's. Madly in love. I cannot wait. Oh, I cannot wait to see him in it. I'm gonna cry. I asked him yesterday if he wanted to try it on, and he said no. I was like, I worked so hard. The next knit that I completed is a sock. I went through a wild phase last year where the only thing I would knit is socks and slippers, and it's been so nice to get out of that. I love working with DPNs. I actually knit most of Jack's sweater with DPNs. I love working in DPNs. I feel like they're so fun and they're not as crazy and intimidating as people think. But one thing that I don't love is variegated yarn. And I didn't realize that until I knit these up. Now this yarn I don't really have a stash. I don't like keeping a stash. I like using what I have and then buying new. So me buying like a lot of yarn isn't something you would typically see here. But I bought this yarn just because it was beautiful. And it's not soft. It's not the coziest in the world. It was just pretty. And it is from Wonderland. And I believe it's called Candy Cane Lane? Candy Cane something. My old yarn shop, they're no longer around, unfortunately, but they kept posting it. And I was like, okay, I just need to go and buy it, right? It's like, you know, a $25 skein of yarn that sat in my closet for almost 3 years. And I was like, I just need to cast on a sock and get rid of it. Of course, I still have like a 75% because I made a booty. But the plus side is I've only blocked one of these. I blocked this one. It's beautiful. Let me see if I can get it to shing shing for you. It's very sparkly. I don't know if it's going to show too much sparkle for you, but it's very, very sparkly. Very, very bubblegummy pink. And that's not really showing very well, but it's bubblegummy pink with hot pink with magenta. And it's beautiful yarn. It's a little scratchy. This isn't a pattern that I found online. This is one that I just cast on because I've just been making so many socks. But it's cute. It's cute. They're not going to be for me because I didn't enjoy knitting them. I knit this one months ago and just finished this one last month. And I just got so bored of the striping. And like in the beginning, you're like, oh, it's so exciting. It's changing colors. And then you're like, okay, we're back at pink. You know, I just got bored. So that's a me problem. Luckily, these are sparkly and they're red and white enough to be a Chiefs color. So these are my Taylor Swift Chief socks. And they will go to my brother for his birthday in a couple weeks. I've been telling him that I was going to knit him a pair of socks. And so he gets socks for his birthday. And they did turn out really nice. They really did. they feel better blocked than they do not. And it's just because the glitter that's in them is a little bit stiff and itchy, but I think that he'll really like them. I think he'll get good use out of them. And yeah, so we've got socks as well. I'm proud of them. This is the second pair that I've just kind of cast on and made. So that's nice, but they're not my particular favorite, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with that yarn. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. So if anybody wants it, you guys can have the rest. I'll mail it to you if you're in the US. The next two are very similar. One is going to be long sleeve and one will be a short sleeve. And these are two baby knits. And I had a really nice time knitting these. I knit the first one before I was showing and in pregnancy. And I have a hard time believing that I'm pregnant until I'm like pregnant. And so I was like knitting this up. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll use this one day. It's like, no, you'll use it very soon. This was, it's a boat neck. And it turned out so stinking cute. This is with Wool and the Gang's, whatever their alpaca is called. And I think it's called Snow White. But I did a broken rib on the top and on the bottom and just stockinette. But this was a panel knit from a baby knits book that I have. I can link that below. They have some great stuff in there. Also some very like weird, impractical things for babies. But I don't know. But it's a cute little boat neck. Super soft. This is already blocked. I think I did a 0 to 3. Oh, it's just so little. I think I did a 0 to 3 just so I could get pictures of her in it right away and her be cozy at home. But also, as we creep into the cooler months, like our cooler months are like 60 degrees, you know, it's not going to be anything wild, but this turned out so nice and I'm very excited about it. It's so soft. I haven't fallen in love with a lot of Wool and the Gang yarns, but this one, I really like the alpaca. It knits up really nice. It blocks very nicely. And yeah, this was a fun little project that took just, you know, not too long to do. My next one is the same pattern, but I made a little puff sleeve with it. I haven't blocked it yet. And I'm honestly thinking about giving this one to one of my girlfriends she's from Nebraska. And so the color is fitting for her. She's having a little girl. We're like 2 days apart, which is wild. But I made it a little short sleeve. So we still have the boat neck, but I made it a little short sleeve. But this one I just did knit stitches with. And it's, yeah, that shows how accurately red it is. It is like red. It is red. So that's not really, I was like, we can do a Christmas sweater or something. The red isn't really my vibe. So I might give this one away. I'm not sure yet. I keep going back and forth on it. I also kind of regret only doing knit stitches because with the red, I mean, I don't know, correct me. Does it look a little bit like ground beef? I don't know. I get ground beef vibes from this sweater, so it's not my favorite. But it is bright red, which they've got a lot of bright red for their sports teams. They're very sportsy people. They won't think this looks like ground beef. I personally think it looks like ground beef. But oh well. That just is what it is, I guess. But those are the projects that I currently have going on the needles. I'm missing an arm. I'm starting that one. I have a couple completed. I need to weave in some ends and fix some slip stitches, but making a lot of progress so far. This has all been within the last month and a half-ish. Yeah, kind of a month and a half-ish that I've started these projects. And so I'm super excited. I love getting things off the needles and I'm excited to be able to wear them and this belly turn into a person. I'm ready for this belly to turn into a person so bad. So I only have a couple weeks left. So I'm really thrilled to be working on these things now. The one that I'm making for her, again, will be in a felted tweed. I'll double check the color. I do believe it is tawny and it'll be just so perfect and a little bit more tame than this wild cranberry situation. I don't even know what yarn this is. That was yarn that was given to me that I had to skein, and luckily I used up all of it. I had enough left to make a little pocket that I keep going back and forth on putting on. So, but that's what I have on the needles and off the needles right now. Future projects that I have going on are going to be so exciting. I don't know why. I wish it hadn't taken me so long to like get used to knitting for my son, because he was always asking me to knit him something, but I was just too nervous to do it. And I have a bottom up sweater for my husband. I'll put right here, that I'm super excited to get going. And then I've got matching sweaters for myself and little one. And then I have a tractor from Knitting for Olive, a tractor sweater that I want to do for Jack. And Knitting for Olive also has the bird sweaters. I'll show you one bird and one bird. And I thought about doing one of each for each of the kids. And those would be cute little like Christmas presents. So there's a lot of fun projects in the works. I just need to get these ones off the needles. These are going to look so handsome on everybody. I've already tried mine on and it's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So trying it on. Obviously it's not going to fit, but it like barely comes to my belly button right now. And I was like, wow, at least I know the arms fit and that the top looks nice, but this belly is, it's bellying, guys. It's bellying for sure. But that is it for episode 1 of Jenna Knits. This is what I have going on right now. In the next episode, I will show you guys some of my previous works, some things that I've done in the past, where I've made maxi skirts and turtlenecks and things of that nature. A lot of my knits I have given away, but mostly because they were just gifts, and I thought that I liked being able to make things for people. But after doing gift knits last year for 30 people, it's not my favorite thing to do anymore. I've come to realize that I love knitting for my family, and because the appreciation and the value is different than when you give it to somebody. And making bread. But the appreciation is different. So I have realized that my family appreciates when I knit them things versus when I have given them as gifts. Just my opinion. But thank you all so much for joining me today. I'll see you guys in the next one where I'll share some of my previous works and give you a progress update on my current whips. I do still have some other whips upstairs, but these are the ones that I'm mostly focused on right now. So I'll give you guys a heads up in the next one. And if you enjoyed this, I don't know if this will be the normal setting. It looks like it's going to storm today, so the lighting's kind of funky. But if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, follow along. I do have another YouTube channel called The Holistic Homemaker. I don't know which end it's going to come on, but so in that one I show a lot of more gardening and baking and things like that with my son. If you're into that, you can follow me over there too. And then follow me on Instagram at Jenna Knits. I'll see you guys later. Bye.